Darlings first, and Jalsa happened later.
Oh.
And I remember distinctly one of the things I worked very, very hard on. And it was more for Jalsa than Darlings, because by then Darlings' look was set. I knew who she was, where she came from, how she spoke, etc. So when Suresh came to me with Jalsa, I kept saying there shouldn't be anything common between both of them. And certain things just started happening between both of us. It was like a chemistry that just happened. Like we would land up saying the same thing,
Yeah.
or we'd land up doing the same thing. Is that how do you reach up to that level again? But then I think Vartika. I know Vartika by then, and also there is something about it's like how do I stand in those shoes? But actually, physically, when I stand into those cop uniform shoes, something happens. I don't know what happens, but it's like I get possessed by her or something.
Hi everyone, you're watching OTTplay, and today we have someone who, after doing some nice jalsa, is back and going to treat her darling audience as a mother who's just supporting her daughter in every possible way. Welcome, Shefali ma'am, to OTT.
Hi, Aishwarya.
Like I mentioned jalsa and now darlings. Like, how do you choose these projects and like ace it effortlessly?
Well, I choose a project instinctively. So when I read a script, if the script, the story, the character hits me, shakes me from inside out, I'll say yes to it.
And your instincts are, I think it's
Touch wood.
Yeah, touch
They've
wood. It's
really touch wood. They've worked for me.
very well.
So there is no calculation to it. It's actually just gut instinct.
And you have been a part of these projects which are highly drama genre and everything. And here you are having humor, and it's dark humor. Even that's a space which is very less explored in Hindi movies as such. But do you, like, people say that comedy is a very tough genre to crack. It's to make people laugh on screen. And do you agree with that? What was it tough as a performer?
I don't know. Once you all see the film, then we'll know whether I've been able to make you all laugh. I mean, like, I'm genuinely saying it. I have no idea.
But you were left in splits when you were performing.
I was left in splits because the script is so good.
Yeah.
We were laughing our heads off. We really enjoyed making the film. And yes, it is a delicate genre because it's very easy that when you have such a good and funny and wicked script, it's very easy to go overboard as a performer.
True.
So it's like, I believe that as an actor, when you have a good line, you don't deliver it as a punch.
Yeah.
And, this character speaks like this.
Yeah, very organic.
This is her.
Yeah.
Or all these characters, whatever situation is happening now, the situation is there and that's how they are reacting. It's not like they are deciding to be funny. They are just funny. As an audience, you sit and watch and you say, "Arey, ye kya hai?"
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But it's very easy to go overboard. And I didn't want her to be caricaturish.
So has it ever been like, for example, this scene in the teaser, when the teaser came and when Vijay Varma's character asked कि क्या कुछ लिखा है, and you both stare and like कुछ नहीं मिट गया होगा and everything. So like, how was it shooting these kind of sequences? Because it will, like, I mean, even before you say anything, we people start laughing because you both are just staring at his forehead.
So like I said, I mean, there was this one scene and we were just cracking up. Like really cracking up because it was so funny. You'll see it in the film. But there were a lot of moments like this.
Yeah.
And see, we both genuinely mean कि क्या लिखा है और मिट गया होएगा.
Huh.
They're not being mean or sarcastic or anything. They're genuinely saying
Yeah.
it. So it's not like we are finding it funny. We are like, acha, you've asked us a question. We're looking for it. But there's nothing on it. Or maybe it got rubbed out. It's actually as simple as that.
Yeah.
So it's for the audience to decide, but we had a great time shooting for it.
And this is a character who lives in like Baikla area of Mumbai, and there is a certain kind of a diction, certain kind of accent you have to get. So did you have kind of like a workshop, like everyone together when you were working on the diction?
So the thing is that ek to Jasmeet had spent a lot of time in Baikala because this film is based in Baikala. These characters are from there. So obviously she had done her own research and study and all that. When I met her, when she was reading the lines, there's a certain way she was reading the lines. She knew that is tarah, ye is tarah. Then I said, but I really need to hear somebody like that. And she had already thought of somebody she would like me to meet. So I met this khala, sat and just spent an afternoon with her, had biryani, chatted. More than chatted, I was just listening to her.
Right.
I was just sitting and listening to her. And she's very, in a certain way, she's Shamshu. But more than that, just the simplicity of who she is.
Yeah.
The comfort level. Shamshu is more of a pataka, So I don't know that. Like, I didn't go to Baikala or I'm not well versed with that lingo. So I'm glad that my director could bring something to me and say, Acha, this is your reference point.
Right.
Let's take it from here.
And even in Jalsa also it was a character from that kind of an area and everything. But of course the intensity of both the characters are quite different in terms of dialogue delivery as well. So,
So I signed Darlings first and Jalsa happened later.
oh,
And I remember distinctly one of the things I worked very, very hard on. And it was more for Jalsa than Darlings, because by then Darlings' look was set. I knew who she was, where she came from, how she spoke, etc. So when Suresh came to me with Jalsa, I kept saying there shouldn't be anything common between both of them.
true.
Because she's a Muslim, she comes from the lower strata, she is a cook, she is a mother.
Yeah.
And she's a fiercely protective mother. Of course, they're two very different kind of characters. I mean, Shamshu and Rukhsana are different. But it'll be very, it can get compared very easily.
True.
So, like, from the way she looks, they have to look like two different people altogether. The lingo is different.
Yeah.
The behavior, the walk, everything is different. So that was a very distinct, like I remember I used to keep saying this to Suresh and I used to keep thinking of it. There can't be a single like ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि अरे ये तो हाँ ओ रुखसाना या Shamshu, because it will be unfair to both the films and both the characters.
And this film is having like being in a dark humor genre. It actually deals with a very important subject of domestic violence. And like, how did you approach those scenes? Because it is a dark subject, and yet you are approaching it with a humor, and it's a very fine line, and it's very important to not cross the line in any or the other way. Was it that challenging for you as an actor as well?
Well, one word to use is challenging. The other word to use is just you need basic sensitivity to understand the seriousness of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was not undermining that at all. That issue has been put out there the way it happens. But then there is also this other thing which comes into the caption is औरतों को मारना हानिकारक होता है.
Yeah.
And it becomes a comedy of errors. So none of us are laughing at that situation. It is something that we loathe. We all strongly feel about it. But whatever happens around because of the situation, that is funny. The way these characters talk, they're inherently what they're saying. They're not meaning to be funny. They're just like that only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of it.
And
So it's not sensationalizing, neither is it undermining the sensitivity and the importance of this conversation, because it's a very delicate and very pertinent and very important conversation. I wish we didn't have to have these conversations. I wish it just stopped, but unfortunately.
yeah. And when you work with an actor for the first time, and of course, you have worked with many people, like you share the screen space with many people for the first time, like Vidya Balan or Kirti Kulkarni or even Ranveer back then, or now Alia Bhatt. How do you break the ice? Because every actor comes with a different baggage, and how do you, how's the synergy created?
So obviously, it varies from person to person.
How was it with Alia then?
Lovely. We met at a reading first. And we both, obviously there is respect and we love each other's work, etc. So I think the first day, I think I was trying to find my footing. I was like, okay, because I was trying to find my footing as Shamshu only.
Right.
And but when we all got down to reading it again, maybe the second or the third time, and certain things just started happening between both of us. It was like a chemistry that just happened. Like we would land up saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Or we'd land up doing the same thing. So it just, and I believe that chemistry can't be created. It's either there or it's not there. And it is great that we share this chemistry because then it shows on screen. You know, you feel, हाँ ये माँ बेटी है, सालों से एक साथ जी रहे हैं, and like they don't even have to talk to be understood between the two of them.
Yeah. And how did you shoot for the whole process? Because it was during the pandemic and it was in a very close-knit environment because most of the shots are indoors. Like, how was the whole shoot experience as such? Because it's like you all share the same frame over the time and everything. Still, everyone manages to have their food like holding in the scene. Like, how would you say the whole shoot process was?
Well, it was a very secured set. The precautions taken were crazy. I've never gotten my nose dug as many times as I did during the shoot of Darlings. Every morning I would do the antigen test. It was a bubbled set.
Yeah.
In fact, most of them were living in a hotel where they had blocked one floor. I used to go home because all I did was go from home to set and set to home. There was nowhere else to go. But it was a very, there were all precautions taken. There was a lot of security. There was, in terms of COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want anyone to get sick, etc., etc. But, yeah.
And it was like a tight schedule also.
It was a tight schedule.
Yeah.
We finished the film like fatafat.
And this is coming on OTT, and like you have said that OTT has changed for you in so many ways, and even this, like when you say a movie like Darlings coming on OTT, and do you believe that certain films are better to release on OTT because of the reach, or maybe it's fine to skip theatrical releases for a few films?
Well, if you ask me, I'm always biased to OTT. I really am.
I think you're the first one to say that you're biased.
No, but I really am. Because the opportunities, the reach of it. Secondly, you make a big film, you make any film, okay? It gets released in the theatre. If it doesn't do well on Friday, for whatever reason, itne saalon ki mehnat ki vaat. That is not the pressure that OTT has. People might not watch it that Friday, but they will watch it. It's for posterity.
Yeah.
It will be watched. It doesn't get wiped out in one go because some critics didn't like it or some audience didn't like it. Or just this weekend, nobody felt like going and watching a film. It's really sad, yeah. It's so much money and hard work. Luckily, that doesn't happen on the OTT platform, which is so great. And there are stories. Content is king. I mean, there are characters where they need actors, not necessarily stars. So I am very happy. I will always be biased to OTT. Where this film could have very well have been a theatrical, but that's not my call.
Yeah.
It's the producer and the director's call. So what they feel, where it fits, their choice. But I think it's great to be on OTT, even with Jalsa. I mean, the reach and people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
It does not depend on that Friday collection.
And a few months like during Jalsa promotion, you said that you want people to say that I want to work with Shefali Shah. And do you think that has happened? Like, I'm sure that has happened.
I said that?
Yeah. Like,
That I want
people to work with you. But it's like, but of course it comes like, there are times when people come with a star power or anything, but when it comes to you, it's not that people see a performer with you, and what you bring to the screen, it's quite different from. I don't think that. I mean, nowadays people look for, oh, Shefali Shah, that I'm definitely going to watch it.
So sweet.
Yeah. Has it happened like filmmakers say like I want to work with Shefali?
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalsa is a perfect example of that. Suresh said, I want Shefali in this role.
Yeah, he wrote.
And thank God he said that.
Yeah.
Jasmeet, after she met me, she thought that I would be Shamshu. So it's great. It's great where people say, we want to write stuff for her.
True. And my final question is, when you have been doing roles which are quite unique, but now, like after Darlings, we'll see you in Delhi Crime, where you are going back to Vartika. like and of course the shoot, there was a gap between the two seasons. Is it easier for you to go back to the same character, to get into that character?
Well, I don't know whether it's easier, simply because, yes, I know Vartika, but when Delhi Crime happened, the show and the character became unprecedented.
Yeah.
I did not expect it. She suddenly blew out to become somebody, like it became like Vartika Chaturvedi, Madam Sir. Acha, I didn't go out to make it like this. And so now when I had to do it again, the constant fear of how can I top this?
Oh.
How can I even stand in her shoes? वो हो गया. उसका कोई mathematics था नहीं. अब कैसे करूँगी वापस? You know, that fear is that how do you reach up to that level again? But then I think you know Vartika. I know Vartika by then. And also there is something about, like, you know, it's like, how do I stand in those shoes? But actually, physically, when I stand into those cop uniform shoes, something happens. I don't know what happens, but it's like I get possessed by her or something.
And yeah, like in a month you have like 2 different releases and 2 different characters. Like isn't it like so exciting having OTT, and you have like you can have multiple releases, like it's back to back. Like in this year only you had Human, you had Jalsa, you have Darlings and Delhi, like 4 outings. Like don't you think it's such a great time to be an artist, right?
It's a great time because, I mean, there is so much work also because of OTT.
Yeah.
I mean, like platforms like Netflix and other platforms, there is so much creative content being created that it's not just an actor, but, you know, it's the sound designer, it's the costume designer, it's a director, it's the writers. So much work, which is so fantastic that is happening. As a viewer, I mean, I can sit at home and watch so much stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone. I don't have to wait, care, husband will be free, children will be free, then we'll go out for dinner. I'm like, everybody's busy, great. So am I. I want to watch ab ye show. I have a full list. Ye khatam hua, ye shuru karo. Ye khatam hua, ye shuru karo. It's like that. Obsessed with the... And as a student of cinema, I can watch anything I want from world over, whatever language. How fantastic is that, yeah? I'm just hoping that there is not an overdose of me. Like people feel कि अच्छा अभी बहुत हो गया अभी please इसको जरा बंद करो. I really hope it's not that. And I've aimed to making them different people.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great talking to you once again.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.